So in this coming up next couple of videos, we're going to talk about one of my favorite forms for creating a sense of tension and release. And that is something called sonata form. So we'll talk about that in just a second, but I want to tell you first why sonata form works, and then I'll tell you why I like sonata form. So let's take this binary form and see if we can turn it into a form with more drama. So the key to remember here is that you're always going to get a better sense of release the longer you prolong the release. So if it's prolonged, it's more impactful. So let's do this. Let's get rid of this repetition. So now we have A, B. Let's stretch that out and do this, kind of like what I did before. Let's do another A. So now we have A, B. Now B is more powerful because the three A's that preceded it created more tension. And then we get the B as the release. If I do this, now the B is even more powerful yet, because I have 4 A sections. So the longer I can delay this B section, the more powerful it becomes, the more impactful its release is. Now, on top of all of this, you have to think about creating a really monotonous piece of music. So this is not something I might actually want to write, because then I'm just repeating something 5 times and then making a B section. That is going to make a really powerful resolution here when we get to the B section, but at the cost of possibly having a bunch of really boring music leading up to it because of all the repetition. So what you can do is what we call prime. So we have an A section, but let's say we also had an A prime section. When we use the word prime in form, that means that it's the A section, but slightly altered. Let's make that like a salmon color, right? So that means that this other thing that we're going to call A prime is actually the A section material, but with some changes to it. So in this, what we might do is A, and then we'll do like an A prime, and another A prime. So now I've got some diversity in all of this A leading into my B, right? So it can work out really well that way, where you can create diversity in all this repetition and still make a lot of drama leading into B. So this would be called A, this would be called A, this would be called A prime, this would be called A, this would be called A prime. It's like a variation of A, basically. And you can do it on B too, and C. You can have B prime, C prime. You'll see all that shortly. Let's look at this one. How could I make this more dramatic? You know, one way I could do it, just to do something different, I could prolong B. This can even be more dramatic than prolonging A in a way, because the listener hears the A music and then the B section, so something different, and then B, and then B, and then B, and they're like, when is the A coming? And they're going to have this sense of wanting that A, because in this case, they know the music of A. Up here, they don't know this B music. Here, they know what it is, and they're just going to be waiting for it to come back all this way. So we could change things up by making it a B prime. We'll just give it a little bit lighter color here. Okay, so now I've got A, B, B prime, B, B prime, A. So that gives us some diversity in all of this repetition, just so it doesn't get boring. So the key to remember here is that the longer we delay the resolution, the more powerful it is. That's what you need to remember.